So, hello. Welcome to, what day is it? Thursday already? How can it be Thursday already? It's Tuesday, right? What is it?
Thursday.
Thursday already. I'm right. Thursday already? Oh my goodness. I just think the time is being like this, I don't know, going all around the place so quickly, Father. Oh my goodness. So people, today I'm here again. I have a loaded video again today. I was up late last night, 3 a.m., listening to a conference was listening to this conference about all the things going on with Israel, with Stephen Denoon and his wife and Dr. June Knight. And I will be putting that in the description box. I cannot play it at all. You need to listen to the whole 2-hour thing if you want to learn about Messianic, how Israel came about, all the history behind the Zionist Jews. And I'm just surprised they didn't mention anything about the Ethiopian Jews, the Ethiopians, Judah, tribe of Judah. But that's okay. We all learning in parts and learning as we go along, because Yeshua said we prophesy in part, know in part. So I'm not beating them up about that, but I know a lot of this stuff is going to be coming out. But I want to talk today a little bit about racism. I'm going to be talking a little bit about all the things going on, all the connections of Yeshua being one in Messiah. He wants all his children to come together as one body. And, it's just all scattered, all this unbelief, disbelief, fighting, killings, racism. Oh, why aren't you my color? Why aren't you my race? All this nonsense going on. And I get so tired of it, because I know he's one in Messiah. As my husband liked to always say, we are one human race. We need to be really, really understanding how serious that is, and how serious his laws are, his commandments are. But we are not to be under no those laws. They talk about the Talmudic, what is it he's talking about? The Talmudic laws, the Noahide laws, the ceremonial laws. We don't need those anymore. He became our great Messiah. He is our only one can save us through his blood, through his blood alone. So, if people don't get that, they're going to be totally confused, okay? Totally confused. And so I know it's going on in Africa, it's going on in America, it's going on in the world. Africans need to really, really start repenting and really get their act together by totally getting out of this unconditional hatred for one another, unconditional resentments from the past, it's just horrible stuff. They fighting against one another, one tribe, one this. I just know it's going to have to stop, because Yeshua will not have racism. He won't have resentment. He won't have unforgiveness in his kingdom. So it's time to work on our bodies and work on our minds in Messiah, bowing down to him and say, Father, here I am. I'm a sinner. Help me understand. And a lot of people are getting so upset that things aren't going the way they think they should be going. They are bailing out completely. I get emails, I get comments, I get this, I'm an atheist now because I don't understand things going on. Are you going to just throw in the towel? The way I look at it, you never really fully knew Messiah. If you're going to walk away that easy, you never really fully knew him. You're not really walking with him. You're not talking with him. You're not dying daily with him. That's how I have to try to understand that situation. You do not let the demons come along and bail you out so quickly, because the racism going on and the riots going on, the protests going on, and this is going on. I'm going to show a young lady that my friend Betty Stevens sent me this morning. She's in this meeting with these people, the deep state. She's talking about all these things going on, and she is telling them the truth of the truth, okay? And I really want to pray for that young lady, because I don't want her to be found on a ditch somewhere. But we're going to have to start standing up for what is right, what is true. And we can't follow everybody and everything, because God made all people. And these aborted babies and all these issues going on around the world, murdering, killing, is not of his of his law, not of his law, not what he wanted us to do. He said the law is what sanctifies us. If you know you don't kill your neighbor, don't steal, don't tell lies, and you're not worshiping other gods. And I know he gave me last night Psalm 97 that I'm going to share with you guys as well. Wow, amazing Psalm 97. I've never seen it before, never paid it much attention. But I'm telling you that I'm going to go over to Isaiah 14, and then we're going to just listen to some news a little bit. I'm just going to switch right through them so quickly, maybe 3 or 5 minutes long, some of them. But I want to get to the Bible here in Isaiah 14 today and Psalm 97. But I'm telling you guys, we are in a big mess in the country, in the nations, in the world. And if they don't fall down on their knees and receive Messiah Yeshua as their personal Savior, and know that all the prophets, all these things that was prophesied about the Babylonian kingdoms and Medo-Persia and Greece and Rome and Europe, these things are coming to pass right before us because we have gone away from the 10 Commandments, okay? From the 10 Commandments. You know, when the tablet was broken, when Moses went on the mountain, Yeshua HaMashiach himself, Jesus Christ, wrote them with his own fingers, okay? So, they never was done away with, people. And, just because you go once saved, always saved, no, you have to die daily. I keep telling you guys all the time, you have to die daily. You have to say, Father, I'm a sinner. Forgive me for what I did today. Forgive me. If I don't wake up tomorrow, Father, forgive me. Forgive me. Where I could be clean before you. So we need to stay clean before the Father, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and my fair use notice been up a while. Let me go on over here to a song I like very much from Behind the Veil. And we need to really be going behind the veil with our Father right now, seeking his face and saying, Father, I know you're the only one in charge. I know the only one you're going to save is through your blood. Because right now, so much confusion going on, and people just into Hinduism, Buddhism, Catholicism, atheism, mysticism, Satanism, Scientology, astrology, just following all these false idols and gods, and wait till you see Psalm 97. But I'm telling you, we need to wake up. We need to wake up. So much hatred between the nations, so much hatred between people, so much hatred between the tribes and the races. Oh my goodness. We got to get out of it, people. We got to take those things before the Father and get clean. Get clean, people. Be clean. So let me go ahead and play this. I'm going to mute it out, and I'm going to roll. Well, I'm going to come back and show some other articles of news, and then I'm going to get into the video news, okay? Because if I don't do them like that, I get mixed up. So I have to go and do all the ones that's not audios, and then I have to do the audios by themselves. So let me go ahead and do it right now. Let me mute this out, okay? Hold on.
There's a space that I know, and there's a place that I go to seek your face, to feel your touch, to hear your voice, to heal my soul. And the world fades away when I go behind the veil. When I go
Praise God. Hallelujah. Behind the veil. We need to all go behind the veil with our Master, our Savior. So I'm going to go ahead and show some news here before I get to the video news of what I've seen today. I think somebody sent them to me in email. I think Sharon, thank you so much for some of the news articles you sent in today. Trump retweets videos of black men attacking white victims, asking where are the protesters. And I'm not going to go over all these things. I'm just going to kind of go through it here, but this is what I'm just showing this to bring out, that all this racism going on around the nations, around the country. I was reading yesterday, two white guys took a black guy and beat him up. Different states have all kind of things and issues going on, riots going on galore. I know somebody sent me the different cities. I can't remember all of them. I know Jacksonville. I know a lot of different things going on in California, a lot of things going on in Oklahoma, a lot of things going on all over. So we need to know that this racism is just getting crazy, wacky every day, you know. So like he said, amid protests over the killing of black citizens that have lasted almost a month, President Trump retweeted videos of black men attacking white victims in separate incidents, one of which occurred last year, while wondering why they did not spark protests like the nationwide demonstrations over the death of George Floyd. Shortly after 10:30 p.m. Monday, the president retweeted a Twitter thread about an October 2019 incident in which a 28-year-old black man was seen on a video pushing a white woman on a subway platform in Brooklyn. So terrible he's treated. The woman was not hurt. The man, described by authorities as a known subway reactivist offender who, if I'm saying that right, I don't even know how to say that. Oh my goodness. Offender was later arrested and charged with assault. RECIDIVIST. Okay. But anyway, I'm not going to read all this stuff. I just want you guys to kind of know what's going around the country. It's just a lot of stuff going on. This young lady here, I will come back and play her in a minute because I want to be muted out. And then here, really bizarre things are happening all over the globe right now. I got this from Betty Stevens, sent it to me. Just when you think 2020 had been filled with enough trouble, even most stuff starts happening. Coming into this week, we are already dealing with a new COVID-19 surge, which has pushed the number of daily cases to the highest level we have seen so far. A global economy which is in the process of imploding all around us, massive civil unrest in United States cities from coast to coast, and giant swarms of locusts that are wiping out farms all the way from Eastern Africa to parts of India. Unfortunately, now we have several more items to add to our growing list. So I will not read these things. I will put all these things in the description box if you can go look at them. We have this one here I saw this morning, not hiring. Georgia mayor allegedly says her city isn't ready for black employees. So we got all this stuff going on, all these race riots and race protests, and Yeshua I think is touching the hearts of the people. He said it would be a great testing times, and I think this is part of the testing time. Because if you are having racism in your heart and prejudice in your heart and all these things in your heart, whether you black, white, green, purple, red, don't matter, okay? You need to be getting rid of it. Getting rid of it, people. If you are black and applying for a job in the mostly all-white town of HOSC Houston, never heard of it, Houston, Georgia, HOSCH Houston, yeah, Georgia, you may want to reconsider. The mayor doesn't want you. According to the Atlantic Journal-Constitution, Mayor Teresa Kennelly told a member of the city council she yanked the resume of Keith Henry from a group of 4 finalists because he is black and the city isn't ready for this. Not ready for a black executive in 2019. They say Henry was talented, qualified, competent candidate for the city administrator job in the small town of Houston, population 1,700, about 50 miles northeast of Atlanta. But 55 years later, after former President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the historic Civil Rights Act in 1964, Kennelly either doesn't think her town is ready for an African-American administrator. Kennelly isn't ready to forge a professional working relationship with a black man who would wield a significant amount of power around the tiny township. See, this is what I mean. All this racism going on. All this is going on all over America, worse than ever. I'm just saying we got to get our hearts right. We're going to have to get our hearts right. I don't care if you're a mayor. I don't care if you're a president. I don't care if you're a political figure. I don't care if you're just a common working man and woman. We need to check our hearts today, people. All these things going on around the world, around the lands going on. Okay, I got to get back to my videos there. This one here, the Vatican versus Trump. A former papal diplomat to the United States made a shocking assertion in a recent letter to President Donald Trump. Archbishop Vigano, pictured above, the Vatican's NUNCIO, NUNCIO, ambassador from 2011 to 2016, described the controversies rolling the nation this year as biblical battle between good and evil. The shocking part is Vigano's assertion that the Catholic establishment fights alongside evil. Just as there is a deep state, Vigano wrote, there is also a deep church that betrays its duties and forswears its proper commitments before God. The Catholic Church always thought they was the mother church of all churches. You go and look in the Bible in Revelation 14 and read all up to 14 and 17 and 18. You'll find about the mother of harlots. And he said to come out of her, my people. It ain't but one God. It's going to be one kingdom. And like it says here, the Roman Catholic organization that is composed of cardinals, bishops, priests, religious nuns with schools and academies and institutions, parishes and dioceses, and everything that goes along with this, that is an organization, is an apostasy. At the present moment, a sizable majority of people are in apostasy, has been led into apostasy, and a sizable minority of cardinals and bishops and priests and religious are in apostasy. They no longer profess the basic truths of Christianity. Forget Catholicism. This person that just viewed his opinion is what's going on. I tell you guys to forget it too, because I'm telling you I will be coming out of her, my people. But this is what's going on. They're going to take over the whole world. The deep state joins the deep state. Isn't that something? The deep church, joins the deep state is what it says. So go ahead and read it at your own time. United Nations rejects Trump push for Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Okay, that's going on as well in the news. Wow. So much happening, people. You need to go and really make sure you go over that this conference I told you guys about with June Knight and Stephen Denoon, and they'll go over all this knowledge of the Noahide laws and what's going on from history on back, and you might learn a few things. I listen to a lot of different people, but I tell you what, I know who is my Messiah, and I know what my testimony is. So that's what you guys should know, and come out of all these confused things going on around the nations right now, and follow Yeshua. So I'm gonna go here and listen to his voice, learn to hear his voice. So I won't read none of these things. I will put them in the description box. I'm gonna go ahead and open up my other news here, other videos here now. So let me go ahead and mute out and hear the other videos, and then I'll come back and go to the Bible here in a bit. So let me go ahead and do this now, mute these out.
TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations. Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem, and in today's top stories. At a meeting of the UN Security Council, the world body's Secretary General Antonio Guterres referred to Israel's aspiration to assert its sovereignty over parts of the West Bank, a threat that would constitute a most serious violation of international law. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani stresses Tehran's will to negotiate with Washington only if the latter would apologize to the Iranian nation, compensate for damages, and reinstate the 2015 nuclear agreement with the Islamic Republic. Lebanon's Hezbollah is evidently impeding on efforts by Beirut's government to bring about much-needed reform, further distancing the country from prospects of an international economic bailout. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres referred to Israel's aspiration to assert its sovereignty over parts of the disputed territories on the west bank of the Jordan River a threat that would constitute the most serious violation of international law. Speaking at a teleconference of the United Nations Security Council, the world body's chief further called upon Jerusalem to abandon its referred to plans.
Israel's threat to annex parts of the occupied West Bank has alarmed Palestinians, many Israelis, and the broader international community. If implemented, annexation would constitute the most serious violation of international law, grievously harm the prospect of a two-state solution, and undercut the possibilities of a renewal of negotiations. I call on the Israeli government to abandon its annexation plans.
The voiced position by the Secretary General projected the widespread sentiment of the majority of state representatives attending the discussion. Nevertheless, among the few nations holding an alternate position, U.S. Ambassador to the UN Kelly Craft urged the Council to self-reflect on whether doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result was the right course of action vis-à-vis the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
I understand that many of you have concerns with this issue of the potential extension of Israeli sovereignty in the West Bank. At the same time, we ask that you also hold the Palestinian leadership accountable for acts they are responsible for. It doesn't help anyone to look backwards and point to what could have been. The Palestinian leadership has a responsibility to pursue the prosperity of their people. At the end of the day, is reverting to old talking points the best we can do as an international community?
Representing the Palestinians, Foreign Minister Riyad al-Malki was quick to dismiss the Americans as biased while urging the world to reject what he referred to as Israel's colonial appetite.
Israel is testing the resolve of the international community, thinking its colonial appetite will prevail over the collective international will to advance regional peace and security, and to preserve the rule-based multilateral order. We must prove it wrong.
In response to the repeated condemnations and warnings voiced over the so-called prospects of annexation, the Israeli ambassador to the UN, Denoon, lambasted the Palestinian narrative, which claims historic ownership of the West Bank.
Let's be honest. Let's be clear. The PLO is not and never was a state and has never been the sovereign in this territory. Never. Prove me wrong on that.
Denoon went on to highlight the Jewish connection to the so-called West Bank, which includes the biblical districts of Judea and Samaria.
There is a strong and undeniable connection between the Jewish people and their historic homeland of Judea and Samaria. This has been true for over 3 millennia, and no Palestinian propaganda can change that.
Turning now to the Islamic Republic of Iran, where President Hassan Rouhani told his cabinet ministers Tehran remains willing to negotiate with Washington if the latter would apologize to the Iranian nation, compensate for the damages, and reinstate the 2015 nuclear agreement with the Islamic Republic.
ساده است. عذرخواهی از ملت ایران، جبران خسارت‌ها، بازگشت به مقررات، بازگشت به چارچوب 5 به اضافه 1 میتونه باز هم راه حل باشه. ما معطل هیچی نیستیم. ما همیشه آماده ایم. هر لحظه ای که آمریکا اعلام بکنه به قانون برگشته، اعلام کنه به مقررات سازمان ملل برگشته، بگه من برگشتم به تعهدات خودم در برجام و بگه کنگره آمریکا و کاخ سفید با هم مصمم شدن از مسیر اشتباه خودشون برگردن و برگردن به 5 به اضافه 1، ما همون لحظه آماده ایم.
The Iranian president went on to respond to a resolution that was adopted by the International Atomic Energy Agency, which called upon Iran to fully cooperate with the nuclear watchdog. The resolution came after Tehran refused IAEA requests to inspect 2 Iranian sites suspected of undeclared nuclear activities. Instead of responding to the international call for Iran to accept inspections of the suspected sites, the Iranian leader insisted that the IAEA were subject to the deception of the United States and Israel.
دارن گول میزنن آژانس رو از مسیر خودش منحرف میکنن. ما البته هر وقت بخوایم پاسخ قاطع بدیم آسونه برای ما پاسخ دادن، اما مبنای ما همیشه همکاری بوده با آژانس. امروز هم این مبنا رو ما حفظ میکنیم، همکاری با آژانس رو.
Meanwhile, in Washington, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo reiterated the Trump administration's policy, which remained consistent all along. Once Iran starts to behave like a normal nation, he said, the United States would be happy to engage in conversations. Nevertheless, the American top diplomat stressed that the Iranians cannot expect to exploit the United States, as it managed to do with the previous administration.
The United States has been clear about our expectations. We've been clear about our goals. We asked the Islamic Republic of Iran to behave like a normal nation. We're happy to engage in conversations with them when the time is right. But the conditions that suggest somehow we give a bunch of money to the Iranians so they can foment terror around the world is simply ludicrous. It's just not how this administration behaves.
Secretary Pompeo went on to address Iran's refusal to cooperate with the International Atomic Energy Agency.
Iran's denial of access to IAEA inspectors and refusal to cooperate with the IAEA's investigation of potentially undeclared nuclear material and activity raises serious questions about Tehran's efforts and what it is precisely that they are trying to hide. Iran's refusal to cooperate is wholly separate from the JCPOA. This is simply about whether Iran is honoring its own legally binding safeguards obligations. If Iran fails, if it fails to cooperate with the IAEA obligations, the international community must be prepared to take further action.
Turning to the unrest in Israel's northern neighbor Lebanon in light of a profound economic crisis, the top American diplomat emphasized that Washington would only opt to assist Beirut authorities if they would initiate real reforms and operate in a way that is not beholden to the Iranian proxy Hezbollah, which is internationally listed as a terrorist organization.
Our policy is very clear. We are fully prepared to support a government that conducts real reforms and operates in a way that is not beholden to Hezbollah. When that comes, when the government demonstrates, whoever that is, demonstrates their willingness and capacity to do that, I think not only the United States, but the whole world will move in to assist the Lebanese government get its economy back on its feet. We're prepared to do that. It's the right thing for the Lebanese people. It's what the protests that are taking place, not only in Beirut, but all around Lebanon, are asking for. Real reform, real change, a fundamental shift away from Hezbollah as the governing power inside of Lebanon.
Lebanon's deep-rooted economic crisis has seemingly deteriorated in recent months. The Lebanese pound has lost some 70% of its value since October. And while a technocratic government was appointed after years of political instability, the then emerging corona pandemic consequently deepened the public's distress, reigniting public protests that quickly exacerbated into violent riots. Nevertheless, Beirut authorities remain adamant at negotiating foreign bailout with the International Monetary Fund.
We're not yet at the stage to discuss specific measures under a possible fund program to support Lebanon. The discussions remain focused on the government's plan. I have said that here before. The government's diagnostic and the reforms proposed. Again, these are complex issues which require consensus on how to address the difficult challenge in an effective and equitable manner. Comprehensive reforms in many areas are needed, and these require ownership and consensus from society at large.
In addition to international reluctance to assist Lebanon financially over Hezbollah's influence over Beirut, the The Iranian proxy is making it near impossible to implement demanded reform, as it evidently struggles financially due to international economic sanctions against its patrons in Tehran. In a televised address, Hezbollah Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah sought to dissuade any reliance on international support.
نحن الشعب اللبناني ما بيقدر يستمر هيك انه نحن قاعدين ناطرين الامريكان. هلا في مفاوضات مع صندوق النقد الدولي ما بعرف قد ايه بتستمر، شهر 2، في حكي بسنه. البلد بيحمل سنه.
And while the Hezbollah leader did not manage to provide a solution for Lebanon's economic woes, he sought to alleviate fears in neighboring Syria over its growing economic distress after the European Union and United States ratcheted up pressure on the Assad regime in Damascus.
اليوم أنا بحب أكد للشعب السوري، لكل إخواننا بسوريا وللمهتمين بلبنان وبالمنطقة بمصير سوريا، حلفاء سوريا اللي وقفوا معاها بالحرب العسكرية وبالحرب الأمنية وبالحرب السياسية، وحتى لو كانت ظروفهم صعبة لن يتخلوا عن سوريا في مواجهة الحرب الاقتصادية، ولن يسمحوا بسقوط سوريا في مواجهة الحرب الاقتصادية.
Thank you for watching us. As part of TV7's Global Prayer Initiative, I would like to encourage you today to join myself and the team here in Jerusalem to pray for the salvation and peace of Bolivia, alongside our ongoing prayers for the peace of Jerusalem, salvation of Israel, as well as for all those who are impacted by the corona contagion worldwide. I'm Jonathan Hassan. Have an Erev Tov, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.
Indian jets fly over Galwan as China again blames India for clash. Indian fighter jets have roared over a flashpoint Himalayan region as part of a show of strength, even as China again accused India of provoking the border clash earlier this month that killed at least 20 soldiers. Indian jets regularly took off on Wednesday from a military base in Leh, the main Indian town in the contested Indian-administered Ladakh region, and headed towards the mountainous border 240 kilometers, 150 miles away. There were also checkpoints on main roads outside Leh and a frenzy of military activity around the main town, which lies at an altitude of 3,500 meters, 11,500 feet. Residents reported long lines of military trucks and artillery on roads near Leh. We now have a good strength present in the area, an official of the Indian Army's Northern Command told AFP news agency on condition of anonymity, referring to the reinforcements. Tashi Chapel, a retired Indian Army captain who has served in the area and is based in Leh, said the mobilization was unprecedented in a sensitive region touching Pakistan as well as China. I haven't seen this kind of military movement before, he told AFP. Meanwhile, China's defense ministry on Wednesday said the June 15th border clash in the disputed Galwan Valley was caused by the Indian side. Chinese troops had taken defensive measures and determinedly counterattacked against the Indian side's violent actions, successfully protecting national sovereignty and territorial integrity, the Chinese ministry said on its social media account. The Indian actions violated a consensus between the two countries and were a unilateral provocation, it said. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian also asserted that the confrontation occurred on China's side of the line of actual control, LAC, the de facto border dividing the two nuclear powers, and that Indian forces had illegally entered Chinese territory. The responsibility is entirely not on the Chinese side, Zhao said at a daily news briefing on Wednesday. The reckless actions by the Indian military seriously violated agreements signed between the two countries and seriously violated the basic principles of international relations. They were evil in nature and the consequences were severe, Zhao said. asked why China was offering such a lengthy defense of its position when the two sides had already agreed to reduce tensions, Zhao said it was to counter a large amount of fake news on the matter being circulated by Indian diplomats and the country's media. An Indian federal minister earlier this week claimed 40 Chinese soldiers were also killed in the Galwan Valley clash, but did not provide any evidence. China has not released any information on casualties on its side. After the latest round of talks between military commanders on Monday and Tuesday, Zhao had earlier said the two sides had agreed to take necessary measures to promote the cooling of the situation. Experts say a major reason behind India-China tensions is New Delhi's unilateral move last year to abrogate the partial autonomy of the former Jammu and Kashmir state, which also included the disputed areas in Ladakh region. China has also objected to India inaugurating the 255 kilometers, 158-mile Darbu-Chayak-Dalat-Baguldi DSDBO road, built along the LAC, last year. China, which saw the move as a threat to its interests in the region, is attempting to assert control over the territory along the border that is not clearly defined in places, according to the experts. In all, China claims some 90,000 square kilometers, 35,000 square miles of territory in India's northeast, including the Indian state of Arunachal Pradesh, with its traditionally Buddhist population. India says China occupies 38,000 square km, 15,000 square miles of its territory in the Aksai Plateau in the western Himalayas, including a part of the Ladakh region.
Hello everybody, this is Paul from Off-Grid Desert Farming with Paul and Adrian. We had a lot of people say that they couldn't access the link to the Doomsday calendar, so I'm doing this short video to just let you see what's on this leaked rest of 2020 calendar. So let's go over the months. In January, they had the Australian fires. In January, February, locust in Africa, locust in Africa. March, April, and May was the COVID-19 pandemic. June is the protest and riots. They got solar flares forecast for July. For August, they have Yellowstone eruption for August. September, they have an alien invasion. October, November, pandemic again, and it looks like some kind of meteors or comets or something coming into the atmosphere. October, November, pandemic. And December, they have an asteroid hit. So this is the Doomsday calendar that one of our subscribers, Francisco, sent me by email. I thought it was very, very interesting, and I wanted to go ahead and post this for you. You can do a screenshot, but very, very interesting. It's been accurate so far, and he said they sent this to him back in February. So March, April, and May, we had the pandemic. June, all the protests and riots over the George Floyd death. Antifa, Black Lives Matter. July now, coming up within a few days, it's got on the calendar that we're going to be hit by a huge solar flare. August, Yellowstone volcano going off. September, alien invasion. October, November, second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. In December, they're showing a huge asteroid hitting the Earth. So I just wanted to post this, a short video, and we'll get this uploaded probably within the next 30 minutes. So you guys have a great one. This is Paul from Off-Grid Desert Farming with Paul and Adrian. Bye-bye.
hundreds of Ethiopian maids have actually been dumped at the embassy at the Ethiopian embassy in Beirut, with no solution, nothing. They were just dumped with their luggage, and we saw some of the women were even forced to sleep there with no alternative or idea whether they were going to go home. Some of the women were actually interviewed by mainstream media like the BBC, etc., and they were saying, listen, Madam didn't find us on the streets, she didn't collect us from the streets, she can't just dump us on the streets. But what's actually happening behind the scene is quite shocking, is Lebanon's economy is actually on the verge of collapse, and I think COVID-19 was like the feather that broke the camel's back. And a lot of the middle class families are the ones who had gotten these cheap maids or cheap labor from Ethiopia, even though the government of Ethiopia actually banned all Ethiopians from traveling to Lebanon and working in Lebanon. Now, the government had actually organized a flight, and I think some of the women who worked in Lebanon had actually paid, I think, a minimal fee, but later on that flight was cancelled. But now they're saying that a lot of the middle class just can't afford to have their maids. They can't even afford to feed them. And so a lot of them are using this coronavirus thing to just, literally dump them on the streets in front of the Ethiopian embassy. They just say they can no longer afford to pay for their domestic maids. And this is just the beginning. It's happening in Lebanon. But we're going to see the entire matrix of the world is totally changed forever. And, one of the major, repercussions or whatever you want to call it, about the lockdown is a lot of economies are going to be collapsing across the world. Some African countries have actually managed to somehow, play the balancing game. We're praying that many make it, but Lebanon is just a sign of times to come. And so, beloveds, if I know there's a lady who reached out to me and she was like, she saw my show and she decided not to travel. I don't think she was going to Dubai or wherever, but beloveds, this is not the time to leave the motherland, the mothership, Africa. This is not the time. People don't have money. It'll just be, if anyone is offering you any grand deal in this time, just know the whole world has been leveled by this pandemic and everyone is just kind of dealing with their own issues. So you're better off at home, please. And if you want to, the best thing is look at testimonials, just put YouTube, testimonials of maids who went to Lebanon, and see some of the shocking stories, because you're putting your life in such danger.
You literally cannot mandate somebody to wear a mask knowing that that mask is killing people. It literally is killing people. And we the people are waking up, and we know what citizen's arrest is, because citizen's arrests are already happening, okay? And every single one of you that are obeying the devil's laws are going to be arrested. And you, doctor, are going to be arrested for crimes against humanity. Every single one of you have a smirk behind that little mask, but every single one of you are going to get punished by God. You cannot escape God. You cannot escape God. I'm going to say that again. You cannot escape God, not even with the mask or 6 feet. Okay? 6 feet, like I said before, is military protocol. You're trying to get the people to train them, so when the cameras, the 5G comes out, what? They're gonna scan everybody. We got to get scanned. We got to get temperatured. The kids have to go to school with masks. Are you insane? Are you crazy? I think all of you should be in a psych ward right the heck now, because none of you know what the hell you are all talking about. This is insane. And then you want to open this meeting with a prayer to God. Are you praying to the devil? Because God is not listening to that prayer, because all of you are practicing the devil's laws. What happened to Bill Gates? Why is he not in jail? Why is Hillary Clinton not in jail? Why are all of these pedophiles that are demanding you all to listen to their rules? Why are they not in jail? Oh, is it because you're part of them? Are you part of the deep state?
Your time has expired.
The deep state is going down. And if
this is your
any of you
last
are
warning.
in the deep state, you're going down with it.
Oh boy, what exciting times we living in. It's a lightning thumb over me right now, so I'm gonna try to get through here. But Father, I ask that your holy angels cover me right now, this household, this area. Keep the lightning and thunder away where I can finish the video. Thank you so much, Father. I ask it in the mighty name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Thank you so much, Father. So let me go on over here and try to read a little bit from the Bible. I will put all these links in the description box, guys, so you can share them with other people or whatever. But I tell you, we are in the end. At the end, it's just so much going on. So much is happening. I definitely want you to see this persecution conference, okay? So let me go on down here to the Bible. And over here in Isaiah 14:1, is talking about the restoration of Jacob. I was going to have my husband join me, but I guess he's not today. So, I'm gonna go ahead and try to read this. I hope I can get through this video before, I hope this stuff fly over here quickly. I do not like lightning, so, okay. So anyway, if it gets bad, I just have to cut it off and do a part 2 or something, I don't know. But let me go ahead and, says here, the restoration of Jacob. Father, be with me as I read your word to the people. I know that things are coming, things are going to change and rearrange, but you are in the midst of it all, and you are in the midst of it all, as you say in Psalm 97 that I'm going to read here later after this. But you are in the midst of these troubles all around us. You are in the midst of us. So you let your Holy Spirit come and be with me, be with the people watching, keeping us out of trouble, Father, keeping us close to you. You are our refuge, you are our protector, and you are our everything, Father. So thank you so much for being our God of all gods, Lord of all lords, King of all kings. And we ask it in my name, Yeshua Messiah. So the restoration of Jacob, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob. I'll make sure my audio is back up because I had to turn it down. I'm sorry. I had to turn it down. That last video was kind of loud, so I had to turn it down. Okay, hold on. All right. The restoration of Jacob. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will still choose Israel and settle them in their own land. The strangers will be joined with them, and they will cling to the house of Jacob. Then people will take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel will possess them for servants and maids in the land of the Lord. They will take them captive, whose captives they were, and rule over their oppressors. This is coming from the New King James Version, if I didn't tell you guys, okay? Let me go ahead and, what happened here? Why is my, what happened to that? I don't know what happened to my, hold on a minute. Okay, here it is. That's strange. I don't know how I got that sign lined up here. Okay, it's raining really nice. Israel's remnant taunts Babylon. It shall come to pass in a day, the Lord gives you rest from your sorrow, from your fear, and the hard bondage in which you were made to serve, that you would take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say how the oppressor has ceased, the golden city ceased. The Lord has broken the staff of the wicked, the scepter of the rulers. He who struck the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he who ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted, and no one hinders. The whole earth is at rest and quiet. They break forth into singing. Indeed, the cypress tree rejoice over you, and the cedars of Lebanon. They talk about Lebanon here today, going down, collapsing, okay, saying, since you were cut down, no woodsman has come up against us. Hell from beneath is excited about you. To meet you at your coming, it stirs up the dead for you, and the chief ones of the earth. It has raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. They all shall speak and say to you, have you also become as weak as we? Have you become like us? Your pomp is brought down to Sheol, and the sound of your string instruments, the maggot, is spread under you, and worms cover you. How are you fallen? This is the key point here in this scripture, people. How are you fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How you are cut down to the ground, you who weaken the nations. For you have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will also sit on the mount of the congregation on the furthest sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Oh, no, you won't, Satan. No, you won't. Yet you shall be brought down to Sheol. Sheol is to the lowest pits of the lowest depths of the pit. Hell is what that is. Those who you see will gaze at you and consider you, saying, is this the man who made the earth tremble, who shook kingdoms, who made the world as a wilderness and destroyed its cities, who did not open the house of his prisoners? All the kings of the nations, all of them sleep in glory, every one in his own house. But you are cast out of your grave like an abominable branch, like the garment of those who are slain, thrust through with a sword, who go down to the stones of the pit, like a corpse trodden underfoot. You will not be joined with them in burial, because you have destroyed your land and slain your people. The blood of evildoers shall never be named. Prepare slaughter for his children, because of the iniquity of their fathers, lest they rise up and possess the land, and fill the face of the world with cities. For I will rise up against them, says the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and offspring and posterity, says the Lord. I will also make it a possession for the porcupine and the marshes of muddy water. I will sweep it with the broom of destruction, says the Lord of hosts. And I know Byron Searle have another message out, and I don't know, I have to post it in the description box because I won't be able to go through it today probably. An oracle concerning Assyria, the Lord of hosts has sworn, saying, surely as I have thought, so it shall come to pass, and as I have purposed, so it shall stand, that I will break the Assyrian in my land, and on my mountains tread him underfoot. Then his yoke shall be removed from them, and his burden removed from their shoulders. This is the purpose that is purposed against the whole earth, and this is the hand that is stretched out over all the nations. For the Lord of hosts has purposed, and who will annul it? His hand is stretched out, and who will turn it back? Oh, hallelujah. Nobody. An oracle concerning Philistia. I'm not saying that right. This is the burden which came in the year that King Ahaz died. Do not rejoice, all of you of Philistia, because the rod that struck you is broken. For out of the serpent's roots will come forth a viper, and his offspring will be a fiery flying serpent. The firstborn of the poor will feed, and the needy will lie down in safety. I will kill your roots with famine, and it will slay your remnant. Wail, O gate, cry, O city. All you of Philistia are dissolved, for smoke will come from the north, and no one will be alone in his appointed times. What will they answer the messengers of the nation? That the Lord has found that Zion, and the poor of his people shall take refuge in it. Hallelujah. God's going to take care of the poor people. Let me go ahead and go on over here quickly to Psalm 97. With all these things going on around us. Last night I was just asking him, talking to him about something. All these evil people, all these things going on, the storms, the earthquakes. You know, we had mega quakes yesterday in California and all over. Where was that big quake hit yesterday? I don't even know, but I can't remember. What's the name? Mexico, yeah, Mexico, that's right, Mexico. And then the tsunamis, and you got other quakes coming in. And I know a massive one going to hit California one day and other parts of the world. But we need to be putting our trust in the Father. He was showing me this yesterday. We need to put our trust in him no matter what. He's in control of it. He said, let not our hearts be troubled, people. So we need to be giving our life to him today and not worrying about the world, not worrying about people, not worrying about these devils and demons trying to take over the world, all the abominations trying to come forth. So let me go ahead and read this real quickly. The Lord reigns. The Lord reigns. Let the earth rejoice. Let the multitude of owls be glad. Clouds and darkness surround him. Righteousness and justice are the foundation of his throne. A fire goes before him and burns up his enemies round about. Oh, hallelujah. His lightning, look, his lightnings light the world. The earth sees and trembles. The mountains melt like wax at the presence of the Lord, at the presence of the Lord of the whole earth. The heavens declare his righteousness, and all the people see his glory. Let all be put to shame who serve carved images, who boast of idols. Worship him, all you gods. And see, this is so important that we come out of all these things I mention every day on my channel, all these false fake gods, all these fake religions, all this fake, and worship him in spirit and in truth. Keep his commandments. The moral law still exists, people. Okay, but we don't need ceremonial laws. We don't need all these Talmudic laws. We don't need all the Noahide laws, okay? But his moral law still exists. So we need to worship him, all you gods. Worship him. Zion hears and is glad, and the daughters of Judah rejoice because of your judgments, O Lord. For you, Lord, are the most high above all the earth. You are exalted above all the gods, exalted far above all gods. As they say over here in Israel, the Talmudics, they trying to go above God. Go listen to Stephen Denoon and his wife talk about this, people. For you, Lord, are the most high above all the earth. You are exalted far above all gods. You who love the Lord hate evil. He preserves the souls of his saints. He delivers them out of the hand of the wicked. Oh, hallelujah. Light is sown for the righteous, and gladness for the upright in heart. Rejoice in the Lord, you righteous, and give thanks at the remembrance of his holy name. And you know, we get to the name thing again. He have many names. I say Elohim, Adonai, El Shaddai, Yahweh, Jehovah Jireh. Oh yes, I love it, Judy. I love it, Julie. And Jehovah, Mecca, Jehovah, Shalom, Most High, Ahaya, you know, they call him God of the King, Messiah, Congo, they call him in the African tribes, and over there, the Bantu tribes, all the Bantu people, Bantu, Black Americans, Bantu. So, you know, he's our God, people. He's our wonderful God, our wonderful Lord, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So we need to be ready, get ready, rejoice in the Lord. You know, I love this picture here. All the different all the different prophets, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, all the prophets are coming to pass as it was written. You know, like I say, the commandments still stands and never was done away with. We need to be following the Father right now, following him in truth, everlasting truth. So let me go ahead and end this video. I'm going over here to Maranatha. The Lord is coming. The captivity of Satan and his angels. The captivity of Satan and his angels. Hallelujah. So let's go ahead and end this video with that. I'm at 59 minutes. That's not too bad. So let me go ahead and end it. I'm going to be putting some another link in the description box where this guy is talking about they're coming for our children. That's what this lady was shouting out about at this meeting. They're going to be putting masks on the children, coming for our children, trying to just kill our children. All kind of things going to be going on if they open the schools back up in September. So I will put that link in the description box where he's talking about they coming for your children. So I will put it in the description box. But I tell you, we need to be praying for our children, praying for our communities. We need to be keeping our children home. If it was my idea, I had children, small children now, they would never see another school ever again. So you need to be really praying about that situation, people, and following your heart and following the Lord and let him talk to you in dreams and visions and giving you counsel at this time. So I'm going to go ahead and mute this out again.
November, Heaven and Earth during the Millennium. November 1. The captivity of Satan and his angels. The angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness, under the judgment of the great day. Jude 6. The earth looked like a desolate wilderness. Cities and villages, shaken down by the earthquake, lay in heaps. Mountains had been moved out of their places, leaving large caverns. Ragged rocks thrown out by the sea or torn out of the earth itself were scattered all over its surface. Large trees had been uprooted and were strewn over the land. Here is to be the home of Satan with his evil angels for 1,000 years. Here he will be confined to wander up and down over the broken surface of the earth and see the effects of his rebellion against God's law. For 1,000 years he can enjoy the fruit of the curse which he has caused. Limited alone to the earth, he will not have the privilege of ranging to other planets to tempt and annoy those who have not fallen. During this time Satan suffers extremely. Since his fall, his evil traits have been in constant exercise, but he is then to be deprived of his power and left to reflect upon the part which he has acted since his fall, and to look forward with trembling and terror to the dreadful future when he must suffer for all the evil that he has done and be punished for all the sins that he has caused to be committed. I heard shouts of triumph from the angels and from the redeemed saints, which sounded like 10,000 musical instruments, because they were to be no more annoyed and tempted by Satan, and because the inhabitants of other worlds were delivered from his presence and his temptations. To God's people the captivity of Satan will bring gladness and rejoicing. Says the prophet, It shall come to pass in the day that Jehovah shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy trouble, and from the hard service wherein thou wast made to serve, that thou shalt take up this parable against the king of Babylon, here representing Satan, and say, How hath the oppressor ceased? Jehovah hath broken the staff of the wicked, the scepter of the rulers that smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, that ruled the nations in anger with a persecution that none restrained. Verses 3 to 6, Revised Version.
Okay, people, see, talk about that in the Bible. All these things going on right now in front of us is already written. So we should be really aware of these things going on across the nation right now, across America, across the world. You know, they want a one world order, new world order. What can I tell you? And all these people coming together to bring forth the Antichrist system, the Antichrist himself. That's why they got their little agenda. They got that map I just showed you, where all their agendas for each month, what they want to do to bring down the nations. As I just read in Isaiah 14, this Satan want to bring down the nations. So we know that racism is nothing but evil, and it's nothing coming from Yeshua Messiah. It's all from Satan and his fallen angels. So you need to be really understanding what's going on and get on the right side today. Get on the right side today. That's what you should be doing. Get on the right side. Okay, ain't but two. It's not but two. It's so easy to choose. Righteousness or death. Life or death. Which one you going to choose? So I'm going to come here now and close out this video. We was out yesterday. I really had a real exciting time yesterday. I got to really talk to some of the homeless people. One of the girls, I really have begun to get to know her a little better than some of the others there. And she was telling me yesterday, and a lot of times we can't get pictures because of privacy issues with them, you know. But she was telling me some things yesterday that was kind of awakening to me, a wake-up call. But she was telling me about the different camps, you know, different guys that sleep there and people sleep there. And she was telling me about some of them is trying to hide out from the law. They have done crimes and things of that nature. And so she said the cops have been coming through and taking some of them out of there. A lot of them buying meth and drugs and all these things. And then she was telling us about some of the personal needs that they needed, so I can kind of help them a little better with your donations coming in. So, you know, a lot of them need water all the time, and then personal items women need, and then they need money, they need gas, they need sometimes food, or sometimes they wait. A lot of them sometimes on food stamps and stuff like that, but they sometimes, you know how the food stamps, you get a little money and they run out before the end of the month, so they was kind of needing some things yesterday. So I just thank you guys for that. I really thank you for all your offerings to help the homeless, orphans, widows, and those in need in mission fields. May Yahweh, Yeshua, HaMashiach richly bless each and every one of you. And also mailing in your donations to our website there. You can go to our website. And then also website here. I hope some of you will go there and look at the website. A pretty nice website my husband put together. And then so you can also give donation at marner.campbell@gmail.com. At PayPal, you can mail them in as well. Fill My Cup Ministries, Post Office Box 414, Canyon City, Colorado 81215. You want to ship anything, like I know my friend Marlene, thank you so much for your tracts you sent me yesterday. I just talked to her yesterday too, but she sent me some tracts. And so if you want to ship stuff like that, you need to fill in the shipping address is Fill My Cup Ministries, 1501 Main Street, number 414, Canyon City, Colorado 81212. So I'm going to let you guys go. I really appreciate each and every one of you. It's really time to get back to Messiah and give our life to him. If you haven't given your life to him today, he is waiting. His hands are stretched out still. His time is running out. Time is running out. Time is absolutely running out. We are in the end, at the end. All the prophecies are being fulfilled, people. We're down in the tolls right now. We're going to be having all these controversial things go on with the UN and Europe and Rome and all these things with the Catholic Church, and trying to tie in everything. Chrislam, as we know, we heard that Trump signed this thing with Chrislam, with the Catholic people. And so we got all these things occurring right before our own eyes. So we need to be giving our life to Messiah, because this world's not going to be fixed by nobody. Nobody. He said he'd go to prepare a place for us. So where he is, we may be also. I definitely want to be there, people. So I'm asking you to please choose Messiah today while you have the chance. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. Oh, don't you want everlasting life today? So Father, come and be with us today. I ask that your Holy Spirit would touch the people's hearts to come to you, to give their hearts, mind, soul to you. Come out of this world. Come out of whatever gods are holding on to them. Then let them go, Father. Let these gods go. Let these things go. So we thank you so much, Father, for your love for us, your care for us. We ask that you supply all the people's needs according to your riches and glory, whether it's physical, mentally, spiritually. And I bind Satan, that evil devil. I bind him up again today, and his demonic angels. I bind you up. I bind Satan and all his evil angels, below, beyond, beneath, mentioned and unmentioned, known and unknown. We bind all evil spirits on assignment against us in every way. We ask for your Holy Spirit to cover us, Father, to cover us with your blood, cover our doorposts with your blood, cover our homes with your blood, cover all the areas around us with your loving, everlasting angels to come and be on our doorposts to help us, Father. As you say, you will always never leave us, never forsake us, but you have sent angels to take charge over us. Thank you so much for your angels, Father. We bless your holy name. We ask these blessings in the mighty name of Yahushua HaMashiach, Messiah, Yeshua. So I'm going to go now, people, and you have a wonderful and blessed Thursday. Please try to do what you can for the kingdom while we can do it. You know, a lot of you out there, I try to, if you really want books in your area to give out when you go out from door to door, or shopping centers, or you know, with all the coronavirus stuff going on, this is the time to really be witnessing, giving out tracts, doing what you can to get the people to know that Messiah is coming soon. Because as it say here, war, economic collapse, and moral decay, is America headed for Armageddon? You should answer that question. Yes, indeed. The perfect storm is on the way, people. We are already going there. So we need to be really helping the Lord, doing what we can while we can do it right now. So if you want any of these books in your area, let me know in an email, marner.campbell@gmail.com. You can always go in the description box and see that mailing address and all the information's there as well. So I thank you guys for watching. I will go now and let you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. So I'm going to say shalom, shalom. I love you guys so much. Shalom, shalom. I'm going to say shalom, shalom. This video is at 11:11. Okay, love you guys. Love you so much. Bye-bye.